This, you hear it all the time, but it really does seem like yesterday we were in Huntsville, Alabama, getting ready to film the first episodes of, Impact Wrestling for the Wednesday night pay-per-views and stuff. And, going back to that night, there's always a funny rib that I can tell real quick. And me and Chris Harris, we wasn't tag team at the time on the first pay-per-view. The second pay-per-view we were. But, we were good friends just because we know each other outside the business before then. And me and a guy named Wolfie D, Slash at the time, in TNA was riding together down to Huntsville, and we decided we were going to play a trick on Abyss and Chris Harris, who were rooming together. So I was coming out with the guns at the time, and we went to the front desk and told the front desk to give us Chris Harris's room key, and they did. And we went to Chris Harris's room, opened up the door. Him and Abyss were asleep, and I started shooting the guns off in the room. And Abyss pulls the mattress over on top of him, and Chris Harris goes running out the door. It was one of my favorite ribs, and I'll always remember that, especially being from the first show.
Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable! What a setting the pace of a long history you have with the Wildcat, but definitely America's Most Wanted. We're going to get to them in a minute in the history you guys have in TNA, but that's an awesome way to remember the first TNA show. And John and I, just before you came on, were just reminiscing about the fact that 15 years ago, we needed something different. We needed more wrestling. We needed a product out there that was going to reflect more of what the hardcore fan, or more of what the fan who was looking for something different was. And TNA, Impact Wrestling now represented that, and it's so cool to see you still in the mix and obviously preparing for a huge match at Slammiversary. And my God, if you got to see what your back looked like after your last clash there with EC3, it's unbelievable. But talk about, if you can, that match coming up at Slammiversary July 2nd. It's obviously going to be one hell of a war.
I'm really looking forward to this match. Not just because it's the 50th anniversary of Slammiversary show, but just because it is with Ethan, and and no matter what people want to say about him, when they because he's supposed to be playing the heel character, like in the ring, the guy brings it. So when you step in the ring with the guy, and the same with me, I'll bring it. And I told Ethan, break it. I don't want to break kayfabe too much or whatever they say these days. But I told him, I said, you better believe it. When I get a chance, I'm going to beat your ass, plain and simple. And he did. I'm not afraid. And anybody who can ever step in the ring with me can tell you, I'm not afraid to take an ass whipping. I'm not afraid to take any move in the world. I'll do it. But because at the end of the day, believe me, I'm going to give it back one way or another.
We've definitely seen stipulation matches. We've definitely seen a lot of wars that you've been through, but a strap match that's a different kind of a war, because like we saw those 30 lashes that you got. I mean, your back was absolutely destroyed. I can't imagine what putting a T-shirt on felt like after those lashes. But going into a stipulation match like this with the strap tied around your wrist, how do you mentally prepare for a war like that with a guy like Ethan, who obviously, he's shown us everything that he's brought to Impact. But now when the big lights are on the pay-per-view, it's a different landscape. So how do you prepare for that going into a match of that caliber?
It's to me, it's going to be very easy because, I already proved to him that I can take an ass whipping. So now he's going to have to prove to me that he can, plain and simple.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be one of those sleepless nights kind of thing the night before. I think Ethan might
it's not going to be it's not going to be one of these, as they say, 5-star matches or whatever, because, it's not going to be a whole lot of wrestling. It's going to be the old school, go in there and just beat each other up type match.